Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Ramika's Diary. Today we're going to be seeing some grammar in CBSE Class 7, Chapter 24, Comprehension. So let's get into the video. First, let's see comprehension of a passage. Comprehension is the noun form of comprehend. To comprehend means to grasp mentally in order to have full understanding of a thing. So to comprehend means to grasp mentally in order to have full understanding. Like let's say there's a passage, then you have to have full understanding about what the thing is. Comprehension is a person's power of understanding a given unseen passage. So comprehension is a person's power of understanding a given unseen passage. So you never seen that passage before, it's your first time seeing it, and it's a person's power of understanding. It is a very light exercise. The students should first grasp the sense of the passage, fully understand the nature of questions, and then answer the questions in their own words. So you should answer the questions in your own words. The answers should be brief and to the point. Comprehension forms the basis of PC's writing, which in its turn leads to composition writing. Thus, comprehension plays a very significant part in the mental development of the students learning English. So it's really important. Given below are some instructions which would suggestion to be of great help in answering satisfactorily the questions set on a passage. So, first, read the passage carefully 2 or 3 times so that the theme of the passage may be understood. So, you should read the passage carefully 2 or 3 times so that you could understand the theme. Read the questions carefully and underline the relevant portions of the given passage which you feel should be the most suitable answers. So you should read the questions carefully and underline the relevant portions of the given passage which you feel should be the most suitable answers. Third, now write answer to the questions in simple, easy, and current language. Remember that the answers should be your own composition. Do not try to copy the very words of the passage. So do not try to copy off the words, the exact words of the passage. The answers must have sound grammatical construction. Great care should be taken in the use of punctuation also. Several answers should not be put in the same paragraph. Each answer should be written in a separate paragraph and should have its number corresponding to that of the question. So each answer should be written in separate paragraphs and it should have the corresponding number. Let's say you're doing the first question, then your answer should have 1, and then you start writing the answers for the first question. So if you're writing the answer for the second question, you put 2 and start writing in here. 3, start writing in here. So that's how it works. So remember to put the numbers. Now let's see the worksheet. This is the first paragraph. Eskimos live in the polar area. So this passage is about Eskimos. They are not usually tall, but they have powerful legs and shoulders. They have a common language and can understand members of another group, although they may come from many thousands of miles away. Marriage is by mutual consent. They do not have a special marriage ceremony. Eskimos live by hunting and fishing. The Eskimo snow house, which is called igloo, is very well known, but in fact, Eskimos usually live in houses made of wood and turf. When they are not hunting and working, Eskimos like to carve. They use ivory and wood, and they often make very beautiful objects. So let me tell you the meaning of this passage. So first you should understand that, and then move on to the questions. So Eskimos live in polar areas. They are not usually tall, but they have powerful legs and shoulders, and they have like a common language, and they could understand members from like a different group, although they came from many thousands of miles away. So they have a common language, and they could understand the language of the members of a different group, like of another group, even though that group came from thousands of miles away. So even though that group came from far away, they could still understand that language. And then marriage is by mutual consent. They do not have like a special ceremony. Eskimos live by hunting and fishing. So they hunt and fish for their food. They live in like a snow house called igloo. But in fact, they usually live in houses made of wood and turf. When they are not hunting and working, like in their spare time, they like to carve. They use ivory and wood, and they often make very beautiful objects. So I think you guys understood the passage really well by now. So let's move on to the questions. So let's see the questions. What do the Eskimos look like? How does a common language help them? How do they earn their living? What activities do they engage in during their spare time? Mention the 2 types of houses Eskimos live in. And the final one is find a word from the passage that means agreement. So first, let's answer the question, what do the Eskimos look like? So it's in the second sentence. They are not usually tall, but they have powerful legs and shoulders. So let me underline it. So it's this line. So now you should try to explain this line. So like from here to here. So the answer for the first question is Eskimos are not tall, but they have powerful legs and shoulders. Next question. How does a common language help them? So let me use a different color. So the common language thing. So it starts from here up to here. So you should try to summarize what they're talking about from here to here. So let me underline it. So Eskimos can understand members of a different group from many thousands of miles away. Let's read the next question. How do they earn their living? So you should write this part. So they earn their living by hunting and fishing. Next, what activities do they engage in during their spare time? So it's this line. When they are not hunting and working, Eskimos like to carve. So like from here, they use ivory and wood, and they often make very beautiful objects. So from here to here. So they like to carve and make beautiful objects by using wood and ivory in their spare time. Next question. Mention the 2 types of houses Eskimos live in. So the two types of houses. So Eskimo snow house, like from here up to here. So summarize these two sentences. So they live in snow houses called igloo or in a house built of wood and turf. Next question. Find a word from the passage that means agreement. So you have to find a word from the passage and that word should mean agreement. So let's see. So consent means agreement. So marriage is by mutual agreement. So that's what they mean here. So consent. So you should write consent in the answer. Let's move on to the second passage. Let's read it. Tea is made of dried young leaves of the tea plant. So in this passage, they'll be talking about tea and tea plants. Tea is made of dried young leaves of the tea plant. It gets its brown or black color from the fact that tea leaves have been allowed to ferment. Tea plants are grown in big plantations, mainly in India, Sri Lanka, and China. A tea plant is about 1 meter high. Tea has become very popular these days. Everywhere we can find tea stalls on highways. So tea is made of dried young leaves of the tea plant and it gets brown or black color when the tea leaves are allowed to ferment. Tea plants are grown in big plantations, mainly in the countries like India, Sri Lanka, and China. A tea plant, so the height of it is like 1 meter. Tea has become very popular these days. Everywhere we can find tea stalls, even on highways. Let's read the questions. Which part of the plants is used to make tea? What is the color of tea? Where are tea plants grown? On plains or on hills? Name 3 countries where tea is grown. What is the height of a tree plant? What is more popular, tea or coffee? Where do we find tea stalls? Where's tea grown? What do we put into the boiling water to prepare a cup of tea? Do we grow tea in our state? So in this passage, they asked some questions from the passage and some questions you have to think by yourself and then answer it. Let's read the first question. Which part of the plants is used to make tea? So which part? So it's here. Tea is made of dried young leaves of the tea plant. So this line. So they answered dried young tea leaves of a tea plant. Next, they asked, what is the color of tea? So the color of tea. So it gets its brown or black color. So brown or black color. So this part. The color of tea is brown or black. So next question. Where are tea plants grown? On plains or on hills? So tea plants are grown on hills. So tea plants are grown on hills. So this is how tea leaves look like. So I attached a picture here. So this is how it looks like. And they are grown on hills. Next, name 3 countries where tea is grown. So you have to name 3 countries where tea is grown. So it's given in this passage. So India, Sri Lanka, and China. So this part. So let's see the answer. Tea plants are grown in India, Sri Lanka, and China. Fifth, What is the height of a tea plant? So they're asking the height. This was also in the passage. So a tea plant is about 1 meter high. So a tea plant is about 1 meter high. Next, sixth one. What is more popular, tea or coffee? So it says here, tea has become very popular these days. So it's this sentence. So tea is more popular than coffee. Next, where do we find tea stalls? So it says here, where are tea stalls found? So we can find tea stalls on highways. So I'm going to write this sentence. So we find tea stalls on highways. Next, where is tea grown? So it also said that in here. So tea plants are grown in big plantations. So this part. Tea plants are grown in big plantations. Next, what do we put into the boiling water to prepare a cup of tea? We will put tea leaves. So we put tea leaves into the boiling water to prepare a cup of tea. Do we grow tea in our state like the tea plants? No, we don't grow tea in our state. Okay friends, so I hope you guys try this at home with me, and if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye!